Comprehensive immigration reform officially back on the agenda of this Congress. This time, lawmakers want to revive their failed legislation piece by piece, one little bill at a time, all part of a very big agenda to keep our borders wide open and to deliver amnesty. The legislation they started debating today is called the STRIVE Act, an acronym, a clever Washington acronym for Security Through Regularized Immigration and Vibrant Economy Act of 2007. Those lawmakers are answering the call of corporate interests by planning to allow even more foreign workers into this country. And as Bill Tucker now reports, they're doing it at the expense of our middle-class American families.
Months after dying in the Senate, comprehensive immigration reform is back. And this time it's being brought back to life in the Immigration Subcommittee in the House.
I'm a bit surprised that when I received the notice of the hearing on a piece of immigration legislation that clearly constitutes amnesty. The American people have spoken so forcefully against amnesty that the Senate was forced to reject it earlier this summer.
I believe the American people want this body to address this question. I was home in the district, and I can assure you that this whole question of immigration has not left the minds of the American people.
To call the STRIVE Act ambitious is not a stretch. The bill is almost 700 pages long, with tidbits to tempt the most ardent of critics. It calls for an increase in border security, increasing the number of border agents, as well as the use of technology. It strengthens interior enforcement and creates a mandatory employer verification program.
As I mentioned, it's tough border enforcement. There's interior enforcement with biometric cards, so employers will finally have the tools. And it sets up a new worker program for low-skilled workers.
It also creates a path to what it calls earned legalization, what opponents call amnesty. Among the worker programs it creates is a new H-2C visa with a cap of 400,000 that offers a path to legalization for workers, their spouses, and their children.
By creating a massive new H-2C guest worker program and more than doubling the employment-based immigrant visas, the legislation floods the market with foreign workers willing to work for less and eager to compete with U.S. workers.
STRIVE would also expand the H-1B visa program cap from 65,000 to as much as 180,000 and create broader definitions for those who are exempt from the cap. Now, today's hearing was said to be for creating dialogue and exploring the issue of comprehensive immigration reform. Yet, of the 12 witnesses heard from today, 9 spoke in support of the STRIVE Act, all of whom openly expressed the desire to kickstart this legislation again in the House. Look.
You know, at some point, listening to Jeff Flake, Luis Gutierrez, at some point, are the American people going to inform, in clear, unequivocal terms, this Congress, this president, that by God, this country doesn't belong to special interests, ethnocentric interests, the government of Mexico and Central and South America, but to the American people. I mean, it is nuts what these people keep doing.
They can try, Lou, but the indications today are they're not interested in hearing that.
And to listen to that idiotic remark by the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. 145 miles of fence. 6 years. We're coming up on the 6-year anniversary of September 11th, and these fools still can't secure our borders or our ports. And the American people, we are abject idiots to put up with this kind of a government. I mean, what in the world is going on?
I don't know.
It is insane.
They have to go home and answer to their constituents, so that's the good news.
They couldn't answer too soon or be addressed too quickly or harshly, in my opinion, by their constituents. Thank you, Bill Tucker. The STRIVE Act. What idiotic nonsense. Time now for some of your thoughts. Dee in Tennessee said, "Dear Lou, with Mexico driving trucks at will on our highways, I have a question. Who traded democracy for so-called trade and made the Constitution, our Congress, and our democracy null and void?" Well, that's a very good question. And Bobby in Illinois, if illegal immigrant supporters can sue employers and cities for enforcing federal immigration laws, why can't we sue the federal government for not enforcing those immigration laws? Now that is a wonderful idea. And Terry in Michigan, "Dear Lou, you have to love it when American companies say they can't find qualified people here to fill jobs. There's no shortage of American workers qualified to fill those jobs. There is a shortage of qualified workers willing to accept low pay and no benefits, though.